we have a panel discussion with Reni and her parents. So let's give a big shout out to Denise and Bode. We're extremely grateful and happy. Yes, we are extremely grateful and happy that they are able to share and unpack lots of wisdom with us today. So first off, we have Reni. Reni is a financial literacy and travel content creator who has been creating content for the past 4 years. She started in 2020 when she bought her first house, and over the past 4 years has built a following of over 150,000 people across her platforms. Without further ado, could we please give a big standing ovation for Reni the Resource? Next up, we have Mr. Bode. Bode is a seasoned lawyer with a passion for investing. Alongside his professional pursuits, he takes pride in being a devoted husband to his accomplished wife and a loving father to their 2 wonderful daughters. Okay, period. Like, I love that. This demands a standing ovation. Can we please give him the honor, the respect, Mr. Bode? Thank you, Mr. Bode. And last but not least, we have Denise. Denise is a seasoned lawyer who works alongside her husband at their law firm. She loves to work, spends time with family, shop, and enjoys her life. Why are y'all laughing? I see that. I see the bombastic side. Okay, so without further ado, let's welcome Mrs. Denise. Let's all stand up for her. Reni, over to you.
First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you. Big round of applause to all of you for coming out here. And I'm really happy that you all came on time. I know we started a little bit late, even though I threatened y'all to come on time, but thank you so much for actually coming on time. At 3:30, we had a line outside, so I was shocked. I was expecting you guys to come at 4:30, but you all came on time, which really meant a lot to me, so thank you so much. As you all know, this is my first ever live event. Usually I'm the one that is, speaking at different people's events that they plan. And this is my first time that I'm hosting one, and it means a lot that you all decided to come out. We sold out in like 10 minutes or so. Yeah, it was just really heartwarming, and I'm really happy to see you all in person. I want to say a big shout out to my accountability group members. Put your hand up if you're part of the accountability group. So if you don't know, my accountability group members are 150 people who I meet with on a monthly basis, and I keep them accountable to their financial goals. So because of them, they all asked me, let's meet in person. We want to network with people in person, not just online. So they're the reason this happened. So please give a shout out to the accountability group. Okay. So as you know, this panel is or if you don't know maybe, I have a podcast called Don't Go Broke Trying, where I interview people about how they may have gone broke, and they give us strategies to help us to not go broke. So today we are going to be talking to my parents and just talking about how to not go broke trying to live your best life. As many of you know, I started my channel back in 2020, and I started it because I bought my first house. And I always say my parents pushed me into buying that house because I would literally have never bought it if they had not pushed me into buying it. But obviously, I'm so glad because you guys probably wouldn't know of me if they had not pushed me into buying that house. And I always feel really grateful and blessed that I was able to grow up with parents who taught me about financial literacy from a very young age. I didn't realize how much of a privilege it was until one day I was talking to one of my friends, and my friend was like, we're talking about credit cards, and she was like, oh, you just have to pay the minimum balance. And I was like, no, I don't think that's true. And she was like, yeah, my mom told me that you only have to pay the minimum balance. And I was like, Dad, I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, don't you have to pay the full bill? And he explained it to me, and I was like, wow, I'm really blessed to have parents who taught me about financial literacy from a very young age. And so the reason I started my channel, my platform in general, was so that we can close the gap, especially in the Black community. We know that a lot of our parents may not be financially literate, so they weren't even able to teach us. So I hope that me sharing my mom and my dad with you can help to close the gap for any of you. Think of them as your mom and your dad, right? I know lots of you call them mom and dad, so I love that. Before we even start the panel, I just want to say that this is sponsored by IHS. IHS Medical Inc. is a company that is a Canadian health tech company, and they help Nigerians abroad coordinate health care for their relatives back home. So as many of you know, I was raised here. I've lived here since I was 4 years old, but my grandma is still back in Nigeria, and IHS allows us to provide her with care. So every single month they go and they take her to the doctor, they do routine checkups, and it's something that is really close to my heart because I want to make sure that we are able to take care of our loved ones even when we're not there. So I know many of us are living abroad and we don't have the time to go home all the time, so I hope that you guys can all check out IHS as well. Feel free to scan the barcode here if you want to learn more about them, and they can provide healthcare to your family back home. We also have Esther here from IHS. So I just want her to wave and say hi. If you have any questions about IHS, you can always reach out to her during the networking session to learn a bit more. Okay, so now let's get into the panel. Are we excited? Yeah. Okay, so there were a lot of questions that were submitted by all of you. I have a lot of questions that were submitted, but I also want you guys to be able to ask them live if you have them. So I'll try to get through mine as quickly as possible. As a man, how did you prepare financially for a marriage or plan for financially for marriage? Because I know a lot of us may want to get married one day, or some of us are engaged. Chica, she just got engaged. Congrats to you. But how would you say that as a man, or let's just say as a person trying to get into marriage, how do we prepare for it financially?
Are you referring to as a man, or are you...
Okay, let's say you're a man, so let's say as a man. Because, and the reason I'm asking you this is because a lot of times, a lot of us are in talking stages with these guys, and then they're like, I'm not ready. I need to get this financially. So what are the steps that men should follow to know that they are financially prepared for marriage?
Okay, so as a Nigerian man, and I think this cuts across all the non-Nigerians, as a man, very often we're groomed to be the gatherers. We're the ones we're told, for whatever reason, you are the one that should be the one that brings in the money. I don't know that that's true today, by the way, but that's what we're told. So if
controversial.
Yep. If you find a man that gathers and is comfortable gathering, you want to understand whether he understands 4 big projects. Project number 1, how are we going to buy our family home? Project number 2,